Hello, students. Today, we are starting an important and interesting topic, ecology and environment. Ecology teaches us how living things, including us, interact with their surroundings. So, let's begin our journey into nature's own science lab. Ecology is the scientific study of how living organisms interact with each other and with their environment. The word ecology was first used by a German scientist named Ernst Haeckel in 1866. Now, when I say environment, I don't just mean trees and rivers. The environment includes both living things like plants and animals and non-living things like sunlight, air, water, temperature, and soil. Let's make that clearer. The living parts of the environment are called biotic components like humans, animals, birds, bacteria, and plants. On the other hand, the non-living parts are called abiotic components like sunlight, rainfall, temperature, pH level of the soil, and humidity.
Ma'am, may I ask a question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Is water considered a biotic or abiotic component?
Good question. Water is abiotic because it's a non-living physical part of the environment. But it's essential for all life to survive. Ecologists study life at different levels. First, we look at the organism, a single individual, like one tiger. Next comes the population, a group of the same species living together, like all tigers in a forest. Then we have the community, all the different species living and interacting in one area, like deer, tigers, birds, and insects in the same jungle. When we combine this community with the non-living surroundings like soil and water, it becomes an ecosystem. Many ecosystems together form a biome, like deserts, rainforests, or tundras. And finally, all biomes on Earth together make the biosphere, the zone of life on our planet. So what exactly is an ecosystem? It is a system where all living beings, plants, animals, and microbes interact with each other and with non-living elements like air, water, and sunlight. The term ecosystem was introduced by a scientist named A.G. Tansley. You can think of an ecosystem like a team. Each member, living or non-living, has a role to keep the team functioning. Now let's understand what makes up an ecosystem. We divide it into two parts, abiotic components and biotic components. Abiotic means non-living, like light, air, temperature, rainfall, soil type, and minerals. Biotic means living, and these are grouped into three categories: producers, consumers, decomposers. Let's talk about each one. Producers are organisms that make their own food, mostly by photosynthesis. Plants, algae, and certain bacteria are producers. They form the first level in the food chain. Then come consumers. They cannot make their own food, so they depend on others. Primary consumers eat plants, like rabbits or deer. Secondary consumers eat herbivores, like snakes or frogs. Tertiary consumers eat carnivores, like eagles or lions. And omnivores eat both plants and animals, like humans. Decomposers are nature's clean-up crew. They break down dead animals and plants and return nutrients to the soil. Fungi and bacteria are excellent decomposers. Without them, Earth would be covered in waste and plants wouldn't get nutrients.
Ma'am, may I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Are scavengers also decomposers?
Good doubt. No, scavengers like vultures eat dead bodies, but they don't break them down at a chemical level like decomposers do. They only help in the early stage of decay. Now let's understand how energy flows in nature. Everything begins with the sun. Plants capture sunlight to make food. Then this energy passes from plants to herbivores, and then to carnivores. Energy always flows in one direction, from the sun to the last consumer. This energy is used up and cannot be recycled. We represent this energy flow using a food chain. For example, grass grows in the field. A grasshopper eats the grass. A frog eats the grasshopper. A snake eats the frog. An eagle eats the snake. But in real life, organisms eat and get eaten by more than one species. That's why we also use a food web, which shows how different food chains are connected. Jai Hind.